track wrestling in La Crosse, Wisconsin with UW-La Crosse coach Dave Malecek here. About ready to start season number 14.
Yep.
We're going to take a little tour inside your practice facility.
Yeah, you bet. Welcome to my crib. Let's go check this out. So this was our old student union, and we built a brand new $52 million student union. And so this was sitting empty for a while. So we came in here and we said, hey, let's check this out. Let's make this our new home. So as you kind of come in, you kind of see this awesome room that we have, and we have 3 full mats and opportunity. It's their new home. It's the opportunity to do everything you need. We call it a one-stop shop. So I get teased a little bit that I kind of live in this place, and I do. I love it. It's like my second home. Hope my wife and kids don't see this, but I really do love this place as we get going. So like I said, 3 full mats. We'll get down to the cardio area, the weight room area. You know, we get some real smart kids like, what are you going to do about the pillars? Well, I'm not an architect, I'm not an engineer, but man, you got to have pillars to keep the building up. We're in the basement. So we put pads around. Like, it really comes in handy. I'm a pretty competitive dodgeball player. This really kind of comes in handy, and I've been known to dip, dodge, duck, and dip behind the pillars to make sure I win in dodgeball. So, but everything you need, right here's our athletic training area, also a coffee station that we have. 2 of my favorite toys that we have in here, Andy, you got to see is our sleds. And those things, I tell you what, I love torturing. I mean, working out guys with those sleds, doing the little things. We put some bleachers in here. People want to come watch us wrestle. It's funny when you put a camera in front of these guys and you bring a couple guys that are fans to come in and watch. They pick up the intensity. So we really should have people like in here every day. It'd kind of be neat. One thing you can't really see because it's dark outside is natural light comes in our room. Totally love that. On the far wall, we've had 21 NCAA champs here at UWL. I've been fortunate enough to be in the corner for 11 of those championships. Had 100 and some All-Americans, 113 All-Americans in program history. Been fortunate to be part of 50 some of those, but yeah, it's been a great facility for us. So let's go ahead, Andy.
I was going to say, do you want to take a look? You want to take a walk over there?
Yeah, let's go check these guys out, because these are some characters. Holy smokes. From our first national champ, 1966, Al Poser still lives in the area. We see him all the time. He stops in. And he always talks about how much he was bleeding in this picture, and he's like, oh, you should see the other guy. But Al's been a great alumnus for us as we get going through. Jeff O'Gara, this is the only ever perk or shout out I'll give to Luther College. Jeff O'Gara now is at Luther College, assistant coach, one of the baddest men to ever come through. Really tough lower weight. Brandon Penskover is the sheriff in town here in La Crosse. That's a good and a bad thing, but we hopefully never hear from him very often, but sometimes we do. So Penskover was awesome for us. Here's a great story. Jason Ott, before I got here, Jason Ott was a national champ heavyweight, but he was also first team all-conference linebacker, and he was also first team catcher for our baseball team, and that was as a heavyweight. One of the best heavyweights to ever come through Division III. I feel like we've had 2 of them come through here. 3-time national champ Ryan Allen, 4-time national finalist. Now is a high school teacher and coach at Iowa Grant. As we get going through, another 3-time national champ, Dan Laurent. Dan's a great story. Dan was 3rd in the state his high school senior year, came here freshman year, qualified for the national meet, and then went on to win 3 national titles. His sophomore year he had 10 losses. His junior year he had 8 losses. Senior year he had 3 losses. And he just kept getting better and better. But he was biochemistry, 3.98 GPA. He was part of the Elite 88. And now is a vet over in Madison, does an amazing job. Another great guy that made a world team, Bebeto Yiwa, wrestled for his home country, Cameroon, World Championships 2015. Now is an assistant coach, Division II school in Michigan, doing a great job out there. Bebeto was a 2-time champ, national runner-up for us. Matt Mosseth, national champ for us. Rochester boy. Mike Schmitz, Stewartville boy, national champ. Adam Sheely, Geneseo, Illinois, and then Dustin Wyman from up in the Minneapolis area. Irondale did a great job for us. And then we got to put who's next, you know. So we've been very fortunate, like 2-time champs, 3-time champs. We've had some amazing young men. All these guys have come back at some point and talked to our team, and I just kind of sit back here and look at them sometimes like, holy smokes, man, we've had some success here. Been so fortunate to be a part of sitting in the corner with these guys. I'll tell you though, you always ask who's the toughest guy. My neck and body still hurts from this guy. Josh Chelf was a 2-time champ. Great story about him his freshman year. He gets 4th with a torn ACL in his left leg. Sophomore year gets 3rd with a torn ACL on the other leg. Junior, senior, he's healthy, wins 2 national titles, places twice at Midlands. I mean, that guy, he was just a bad man. Oh, he's now a school teacher up in Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska. So we've had some tough guys come through. Man, my body hurts, Ian, because I even get by these pictures. Sometimes, yeah, I still got it. Okay, let's go on over. I think you got to check some of this out. We kind of go through the back door, but we got 2 locker rooms for our guys. Coaches' lockers this way than our guys. We don't put chairs in here. We don't put a bench in here. I don't want them to spend a lot of time in here. I want them to come in, get changed, and get right out in the wrestling room because they can be doing other stuff out there. And it's budget cuts. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, our guys come in here. We spend quite a bit of time. Want in this room, in this facility, but this is the spot I want the least amount of time in. Just get in, get changed, and get ready to go, come right back out. And I've noticed, man, like our guys this is just like at home with the kids. Like there are shoes everywhere. Do we really need that many shoes? Maybe like one shoe's like when I'm really good on my feet, one shoe's I'm good on bottom. Man, back in the day I had 1 pair of shoes, that was it. That's all we needed. So these guys are spoiled. Look at this. You got shoes everywhere. Another nice area. We got 4 racks here for our weight room. We'll do some of our lifts over here. Our guys do our early morning lifts. Actually, we got a group that comes in at 5:30 in the morning, does yoga twice a week. And then that's kind of like my science experiment over there, Andy, like with ropes and ladders and med balls, you name it. Try to torture. I keep saying torture. Keep trying to work our guys out. And being a former Iowa guy, even though I've been in Wisconsin 14 years, you got to have a tractor tire in your wrestling room. You just got to have it. And then we bring the sledge in, get some good swings. And I'll tell you what, there are some guys that I would hire to split wood, and there's some guys that have never touched one of these. They have no idea what they're doing with a sledgehammer either. So we don't have many guys that can work construction or break up concrete or split wood. I mean, it's really bad. They better stick to school. So treadmills, cardio. Then we put up the Olympic rings. We've had 2 guys make world teams. Bebeto Yiwa made it for his home country, Cameroon, like I said earlier. And then Richard Carlson made the U23 Greco team and wrestled overseas for the United States when it was the university division. And Richard was a 2-time All-American for us here. So we've had 2 guys on world teams. You'll notice on everywhere we go, we got TV screens that we get a chance to watch film, but this one's obviously for the cardio area. Our championship wall, Andy, with our All-Americans and conference champs we talk a lot about. This is a great wall. We're very proud of it. I've been here 14 years, and everybody's graduated except one guy that's come through here, and really proud of that. Really proud of our guys that have taken care of school and gone on to be doctors and chiropractors and business leaders and owning business and salesmen. I mean, teachers, coaches, we've had it all come through in the time I've been here, and the alum have been great. But really proud. We talk a lot about it's a long walk from this wall to that wall, and we kind of did that on purpose. Like, you can be an All-American, but you want to get to that national championship wall, you gotta work pretty hard to get there. And to make yourself famous, you gotta work really hard. So that's pretty cool. And these mats we do a pretty good job. The pillars, obviously. We talked about that already. So let's come right in here, Andy. This is one of my favorite rooms. Is our lounge. These guys are staging this for us. This is my office right here. A lot of windows on it. So I can check out our guys when they come through. Big into reading body language and seeing how they're doing and get an opportunity to check on them all the time. Got 2 of our freshmen here playing pool. Notice there's no money on the table. There's no fist fights breaking out. It's actually a good, clean game of pool. We got TV area. We got video games if they want to. We got an Xbox down at the other end. But it also doubles as our study area too. Our guys have to do study hall hours and spend a lot of time in here. So some guys more than other, Nolan, need to be in study halls more than others. So yeah, so another area I wanted to show you, kind of cool. Just we go through, just one of our perks that we put in here. My assistant coach Ross Needham made this right in his garage. So I think that's kind of cool to show that as coaches have more skills than just wrestling. And it's good for pitchers. Yeah, isn't that right there? That's where I'll do our headshots. So that's pretty much our facility, man. That is, we love it here. I mean, we've been in this thing for 3 years, and our guys, it's a one-stop shop. They can do everything they need right here. So.
What did the facility look like prior to this that you guys were in?
That's a great question. I should show you that. We were over in the other building, and it was 2,400 square feet. It was one mat. It was a 42 by 42 mat, and we'd put 35 guys in there, and we'd have to come up. I had to be really creative, and wrestlers, like, hey, just get in there and get to work. So we put all kinds of pull-up bars all over the place. We opened the back door so we could go into the field house, put bikes out there. We couldn't have bikes in there, couldn't do anything, but we had to do tons of groups of 3. We'd have to do split practices. It was a mess, but the key was that we didn't care. Like, we're just going to go in and wrestle, and that's just what we did, and we were happy with what we had. And then kind of talked to the right people, and all of a sudden this all kind of happened, and it's been great. It's been great for not only recruiting, it's been great for our guys, and our alums are like, man, we didn't have that. I was like, I know, it always gets better when you leave, right? It always gets better. So, but yeah, the facilities before were not very good.
So let's walk back in there.
Okay, yep.
Take a look again in case we...
What did we miss?
Well,
right? Oh, we got some trophies. I didn't even
missed
show
much.
you.
Yeah, you got to show me that.
I didn't show you trophies. So we got a little trophy case here. Our second place trophies, thirds and fourths, and 14 years I've been here. We've gotten 7 trophies, and won some conference championships. Won the last 3 in a row. I don't know how many we've won the years I've been here, but I know overall we've won 19 conference championships. And the WAC's a tough conference. That's Whitewater and Oshkosh and Stevens Point and Platteville and Eau Claire. I mean, we got some really good teams in our conference, and so that's the thing I love about the conference. That the coaches, you respect them, and man, they work really hard, and they bring their best game every time you wrestle them, and that I love that. I just absolutely love that. So
you gotta feel like you died and went to heaven when you moved in here, don't you?
So visualize it. It was probably from that pillar to those bleachers was our old wrestling room. And now you come over here, and it's just like, and like I said earlier, I don't leave here. I mean, I spend all my time. I don't see any of the other coaches, the other college coaches. So I try to walk over there every day, but get that opportunity here. We have our assistant coaches' offices here. We have a Gatorade. I mean, man, we do it all here. Now, I've seen some of your other interviews, Andy. Like, they have those sleep pods, and all these people got this high-tech stuff, man. We got 2 mattresses in the back from Amazon, blow-up mattresses for like $42, man. We take naps in the back. So
you got it made.
We got it made. I mean, what else do you need, right? But it doesn't equate to more wins, but like, I think our injuries have gone down. Our mood or our intensity level, our intensity's gone up, our mood is better. There's more things. I see the guys way more. I just see them so much more when I'm in here because they have the space and they can do everything here. They don't have to go to a separate building for study hall. They don't have to go to a separate building for weight room. They don't have to go to a separate building for cardio. We do it all right here. So
has anything changed in recruiting since you moved in?
Yeah, I think we've gotten some looks from some guys, some recruits that normally wouldn't. We've made a lot of videos. We've sent them out and like, oh, hey, I'll come check that. It's a sweet room, because in the past we'd get to that room and like we try to skirt around it and like, hey, we're tough wrestlers. We could wrestle outside if we needed to. And now it's like a highlight. Like, we meet here and we do everything here on our recruiting visit before we go out on campus. And I hope it makes a difference. But we're still recruiting the same guys that are very strong academically and are passionate about wrestling, passionate about school, wrestling and school. But yeah, it's so different. I can't even begin to tell you how different it is.
What are the characteristics of your program?
Characteristics of our program, I think we've had over the years a strong tradition. I think our guys are always competitive at the national level. I think our guys graduate. Characteristics of hardworking guys. We're not the flashiest. We don't come in with huge credentials. We come in, guys that develop over the 4 years that we have them. We take them as freshmen and work them all the way to seniors. And I think those characteristics of just being great young men, I mean, that's my number one goal. It's like, can I make them better young men by emulating and giving them examples of how they interact with their professors, people in the community. Someday they're going to maybe be husbands and fathers, and man, that's the most important thing to me. And these guys, I absolutely love it up here. I thought I'd only be here for a little bit, but I want to retire here. It's an amazing place to raise a family. It's an amazing place to work. And now we got the support with the wrestling part of it too. I got great assistant coaches, and I'm really biased, but man, I think it's the best one out there. So it's a great facility too. 14
years, and you said you've only had one wrestler who hasn't graduated. How have you pulled that off?
I think just staying constant with them, and when you recruit them, and when you have those tough situations that you just got to stay by their side, the good and the bad. Doesn't matter how many matches they win or lose. I think the biggest thing is just showing you got to graduate, man. I don't know how many times I said that, I know other coaches do it too. It's not just what I do, but the assistant coaches on the same page, your professors are on the same page. And I think one of the biggest thing is like building that family. Like, hey man, that's our goal. You're going to graduate and graduate in 4. We've had some guys go 4.5, maybe some 5. There's a couple guys up there. I think one guy went 7. We call him Doctor, but I won't tell you who it is. But he graduated. And but the biggest thing too, Andy, that you bring up is that you ask that question is like, you just care about the guys, and you care so much that you want to make sure you made that promise to them and their parents, and then you just stay with them and stick with them and through all that, and it's a beautiful thing.
You're obviously bringing prospects in here and showing off your program, but what do you look for in a prospect when he comes in? And
that is like the hot question
on a tour.
Okay, on the tour, like I look on how he reacts with his parents. Like I think, if we're talking a specific recruit comes in, I see how the eye contact he has with the coach. How is he open the door for his mom when we walk in the facility? Does he say thank you? Or I also look too is like how involved are the parents? Are the parents answering all the questions, or does the young man have that inner drive that he wants to do it, or is it the parents going, we did this and we? I want to know is what's about that young man that he's going to bring to our program, and like, is he involved in the community? Does he, like, we got a couple guys that are like doing trips to underdeveloped countries. Like, man, bring that here to UWL. We want that full-rounded young man. And then, I like going and watching high school practices. I watch how they are coached. I watch how they respond. Because I can go to a match or a duel, they pin him in 30 seconds. Did I really learn a lot about that young man? And so now I like watching practices and spending time with them. Our big thing, too, Andy, is just building those relationships with the guys and trying to find out more about them than just wrestling. So it's a 40, 50-year deal. I tell every recruit that. This is a 40, 50-year deal, man. This ain't a 5-year deal. And our 4-year deal, it's 40 to 50. So we got to get along. We got to understand each other and really keep building that relationship.
Hey, anything else for us?
No, that's it. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it.